everyone, it's Hayes, and in today's video we're going to be discussing some theories I have for London special End of Ladybug or Chronobug and the Ghosts of the Past. Whose idea was that title?
So who came up with this idea?
It's silly. Anyway, let's talk about it and start by rereading the synopsis. So, Marinette, now Chronobug, and Bunnix must save the future by resolving the mystery of who discovered Marinette's identity as Ladybug, when and how they stole her Miraculous. Throughout the adventure, they learn that the butterfly Miraculous has a new holder, the one who unravelled the ultimate secret. Ladybug's only hope is to defeat her opponent to prevent the end of Ladybug. So I've been through all the comments, like I usually do anyway, so no change there then. And these are the most major ideas, and I have stolen them all and developed them a bit further, so you're welcome.
Anything for you.
So, first up, Chronobug. I swear I got 100 comments alone telling me this, as well as a message from this channel's resident time travel expert, Edward, saying the same thing. And if you haven't watched this video we made together explaining all the time travel so far in this show, you totally should. So, for those of you who don't know, the Chrono part seems to be taken from the Greek god Kronos, which I hope I'm pronouncing correctly, I have no idea. He is the son of Uranus and Gaia, he was a Titan, and he married his sister.
What?
Anyway, that's not the important part. He was also the god of time, so Cronus, chronological order, time, so Chronobug, I would assume, is either a fusion with the rabbit or the snake Miraculous, or both, as they are the only ones associated with time that we know of as of right now. Now, right now, we don't know when this is exactly set. One of the, Miraculous ambassador people, I don't really know how they work, anyway, confirmed that it was set during season 5, but they didn't get more specific with it, and I think it's set after the Wish in Recreation, but before the pool party and stuff, which I'll explain in a minute, hold on. But after the Wish, we know Marinette gets all the Miraculous back apart from the butterfly, which is lost again, the peacock, which Felix kept, and the rabbit Miraculous, which Alex has, and she is somewhere, question mark? The synopsis says Bunnix is with her on this adventure, which is great and all, but where is Cat Noir?
I don't know where he's at.
We'll get to him in a moment as well, don't worry. So the synopsis says Bunnix, but it doesn't specify current day Bunnix or older Bunnix. So if Chronobug is referring to Ladybug plus the rabbit Miraculous, does she temporarily take back current day Alex's Miraculous for an episode and spend some time with the older version, or vice versa? Is it with current day Alex and older Alex gives her the Miraculous? Or is Marinette, since getting the snake Miraculous back, using that and is with either version of Bunnix? I'm not really sure, and also, if she did have the rabbit Miraculous, what exactly would be the purpose of having two of them, other than her and Alex could do things separately, independent of each other, and they wouldn't have to wait around for the other one to use the burrow? That's the only thing I can think of, but either way, whichever one she's using, there isn't a way to tell. And for those of you who are confused, Pennybug in Strike Back, there are a few comments about this. Pennybug is a fusion of the Ladybug, Rabbit, and Horse Miraculous. It seems Chronobug is Ladybug and Rabbit, or Ladybug and Snake, or Ladybug, Rabbit, and Snake. There is no horses involved, okay? Now, onto the London portion. I didn't realise this until I made my initial video, but I was like, why is she in London? I know London isn't far from Paris, it's literally a train ride away, and as Chronobug she can fly over the English Channel, no problem there. But why is she there? It's always something I thought about the world specials. Like, they need pretty good excuses to get the kids to another country, so New York was this school trip for the, I think, made-up American-Paris friendship celebration thing, and then the Shanghai special was Marinette being a stalker under the guise of hand-delivering a birthday present, but I guess it worked out in the end because she did get mugged, so why is she in London though? And no, before anyone asks, I am not from London. Yes, I am British, but I'm not from London. I'm from nowhere near London. I won't tell you where I'm from because you won't know where it is, so let's just say Manchester. That's not where I'm from either, but you probably don't even know where Manchester is anyway. Back to Miraculous Ladybug. Why is Marinette in London? So, as I said before, I think this is set after the Wish, but before the pool party. If you watch my timeline video, you'll find out that I talked about this, but when I talk about recreation, confirmation and recreation up until the Wish take place on the first day of the summer vacation in France, which is towards the beginning of July. During the pool party scenes and stuff like that, the kids say it's only a few days before they go back to school for the new academic year, which in France starts in September. So those scenes with the pool and Marinette sorting out the Miraculous and Lila, they all take place at the end of August, and the Wish takes place towards the start of July. So there's quite a big chunk of time that's unaccounted for in terms of show runtime. So I think Marinette could be going to London to get Adrian. In confirmation, she goes to the Egress mansion to find Adrian, not because Felix told her Gaby Baby was Monarch Daddy in representation. I would just forget about important information like that. Let's do it.
Well done. Great job.
And we all know Adrikins is in London, so I would think after the Wish, Marinette grabs all the Miraculous she could get, dives into the weird green maybe sewage water in the murder basement. How did that get there? I don't know. And when she can't find the butterfly, she's like, alright, I'll go and find my boyfriend then, my original mission. Now, Marinette doesn't know where he is. Natalie doesn't get around to tell her before she dies, ? I'm never sure if she actually died or not, but either way, she doesn't tell Marinette before she dies. I'm doing like inverted commas with my fingers. I don't know if she's dead. So Ladybug's gonna head upstairs and surprise, surprise, Natalie will have made a miraculous recovery. Did you see that I did that? Did you get the joke? Miraculous.
If you say so. Anyway.
And Natalie is like, oh, sure, Adrian is being kept in this weird white room torture chamber thing. Maybe you should go and get him out of there. Because Felix was very involved in a game of solo ping pong during the finale. Natalie wouldn't say that last bit, that was me projecting. Where were you, Felix? So Marinette transforms into Cosmobug and flies to London. This is the only plausible reason I can think of her going there. I know her aunt lives there, but Marinette and her aunt don't get along. And I know Master Fu is there, assuming he hasn't moved. I don't know. But it does seem Marinette is supposed to have, like, minimal contact with the man. So Adrian being there does seem the best bet as her reason, her motivation for coming over here with all the croissants, and I'll be ready, waiting for her with a cup of tea for her. Side note, my mum, oh my god, the other day before 12 p.m, lunchtime, noon o'clock, whatever you want to call it, midday, she had drunk 7 cups of tea before then. Between getting up and midday, she got up at 6:30, 7 cups of tea. That's unhinged. I don't know how she did it. Anyway, Marinette. So she's on her way to see Adrian. Check he's alright. Maybe Kagami too, since Felix doesn't care about his girlfriend either, let alone his cousin, and to also give Adrian the twin rings, as he said Ladybug gave them to him.
When Ladybug gave it to me, she told me how my father helped her to defeat Monarch.
But when she arrives in London, because it's going to be a bit weird for Bunnix to pop out at her in midair over the English Channel, Bunnix, current or older, or maybe both, makes herself known and is like, we have an issue. A big issue, and reveal that someone knows Marinette is Ladybug who isn't supposed to know. And this is when I think we basically enter Cat Blanc territory, in not that Adrian gets acclimatised into Cat Blanc again, but in that things happen and the writers are like, oh, whoa, that's too much plot development, we can't have that, let's erase it. Except we're going to triple it because it'll probably be like an hour long over Cat Blanc's 20 minutes. So I think the basic idea of the special is that Lila, who enters the Egress mansion as Edna Mode, works out Marinette is Ladybug. Now, personally, maybe you disagree with me, that's fine, but I have been on the fence about whether she knew or not Marinette's identity. Marinette doesn't get physically revealed as Ladybug until Gaby Baby takes her earrings and ring for the Wish. But during the fight, Gabriel does refer to her as Marinette several times. Once he's found out, he stops calling her Ladybug or Bugnaw or whatever, he's just like, Marinette. However, Lila doesn't enter the mansion until after Marinette cataclysms the floor. We don't see what Lila is able to see, if anything at all. The murder basement has this massive elevator to get down to it, and it's not that well lit down there, so I would assume she can't see a great deal if she can see at all, because it does look quite dark, to be fair. And Lila, as far as I know, doesn't know how to get down there, unless the details for it were stored in the Tsurugi laptop. I don't see why they would be, but I also don't think that's impossible, and every time I look at this picture of Lila, I swear she's going to stick that screwdriver up her nose and wang jangle her brains out. Anyway, if Lila did manage to make it down there before Marinette cataclysms a lift shaft towards the end of the fight, Of course, she would have seen Marinette eventually during the wish and heard Gabriel call her Marinette, but if she didn't, then I'm not sure she could have heard Gabriel call her that from all the way down there. I know during the scene when Lila enters the house, Marinette and Gabriel can be heard talking. However, it's done in a voiceover. It plays over the kids fighting at Place de la Concorde, and they sure as hell can't hear Marinette, absolutely not. So I think the most viable option is that Lila did indeed make her way downstairs and basically hid in the bushes. How do plants survive down there? I don't know. And found out Marinette's identity, which is echoed in this line from the end of Recreation.
I look forward to seeing you again, Marinette Dupin Chang.
So Lila finds out, which is what the synopsis seems to be hinting at, and now she has the Butterfly Miraculous. That's obviously not ideal, to say the least, both for Marinette and the longevity of the show. There's only so long Lila couldn't not do anything about it, and as the synopsis suggests, she is the new holder, the one who unravelled the ultimate secret, which here is Marinette's identity, and then stole her Miraculous. How Lila does that exactly, I would just assume she breaks in one night and takes the earrings. It's what I would do.
That's good to know.
So basically, Lila finds out her identity, so Marinette with a Miraculous that is either the rabbit or the snake goes with a version of Bunnix, this is a very detailed theory, can you tell, to stop Lila from finding out her identity. And notably, when Lila rocks up to the Egress Mansion in Recreation, she's in disguise. She's in her Edna mode. Nailed it. Not as Lila. So even if Marinette does indeed travel back in time and she sees this person, she's like, okay, this is a new Butterfly Miraculous holder, got it, I need to be on the lookout for this person. Marinette isn't going to recognise her as Lila because apparently Lila's wigs have better quantum masking than her magical jewellery. And Lila will never wear this disguise again because she'll remember Ladybug rocking up to fight her to stop her from finding out Ladybug's identity. I hope that made sense. Too many Ladybugs. So the Lila that Ladybug fights won't have yet got the Butterfly Miraculous, since future Ladybug fighting her happens pre-wish, but it will allow her to get it another way. As I said, it seems the water in the basement is sewage water, and there are other ways into the sewers because Paris doesn't care about the health and safety of its citizens in this version. I guess Ladybug could stop her from getting the Butterfly Miraculous altogether, but I would assume some events need to stay fixed. Like, for example, Time Tagger, we already know it happens, we already know someone else has a Butterfly Miraculous, so it still needs to happen, so she can't stop it altogether, but she will have stopped Lila from finding out her identity too early, and the same goes for Lila. She's going to remember this fight, as only her finding out Ladybug's identity will be erased, and she will know she can no longer wear her Edna mode disguise, which is so sad.
That's so upsetting.
And Marinette is then going to spend the next 60 seasons looking for an Edna mode lookalike who no longer exists. And it also allows Lila's line in the final scene of Recreation to still make sense, as Lila could just be referring to Marinette in the sense of, you ruined everything for school at me, I'm going to get revenge, and she could use the Butterfly Miraculous for that. She doesn't actually mention Ladybug in this scene, only Marinette. It's quite open about whether or not she actually knows. She could be referring to Marinette because she knows she's Ladybug, or she could just be referring to Marinette as Marinette because Lila hates her guts, basically. So they sort that out and Marinette is free to rescue her boyfriend from his torture chamber, but I think that's all a bit too straightforward as it is. So let's jazz it up a little bit. As we all know, Adrien and/or Cat Noir is very absent from this synopsis, and if I'm right that it's set right after Wish, Marinette will still have his Miraculous and he's still trapped, so he can't really be in it, and it does also concern someone finding out her identity, so as much as it pains me, I get why he's not mentioned.
However,
perhaps Cat Blank style, Bunnix takes her to the future where the end of Ladybug has already happened, Marinette has had to rescind her Miraculous to Alia, or maybe someone else, I don't know, and we see what Paris is like, and I think Lila, or Cerise, or Stacy has told Adrikins that not only is Marinette his wonderful girlfriend Ladybug, but that his dad was Monarch Daddy, and Marinette has kept this from him. I've always said it's not an if he finds out, it's a when, and if Lila has all this information, she's going to use it somehow, so maybe in this dystopian future Bunnix shows her, where Marinette is no longer Ladybug, Adrien is still Cat Noir though, but now he's on Lila's side. And we see current day Ladybug fight a future Cat Noir who knows she is Marinette. I think that would be super interesting to see and involve him instead of ignoring him. We all know how much they like to do that.
One of my favorite things in life.
This idea would also play into the ghosts of the past as part of the title, as Marinette's decision here and Gabriel's memory would be haunting her. As for some other things that came up in the comments, I saw a lot of people asking about Miss Rose, who was meant to be the new character for the London special. The same with Jess and My Daughter Aeon for New York and Faye for Shanghai. She's not mentioned in the synopsis, so she could still be a part of it. But I do believe Miss Rose was revealed quite a while ago now. It's very possible as they developed this idea more that there was just no room for her any longer and they got rid of her, but I really don't know. A lot of you also said that the lighting in Lila's recreation end scene was Bunnix or Cosmobug arriving, and I'm not saying it's impossible, but Bunnix doesn't appear with lightning and her arrival doesn't create wind or levitation either, and why would they travel to this moment in time? Lila, if she did find out Marinette was Ladybug, found out much sooner than this moment. The only thing I feel like could explain the lightning is we know Bunnix's Miraculous does get damaged at some point, but I'm not sure it would cause this. Like, would it really cause a levitation as well? And I'm not actually sure Lila would be scared of her, so I'm not really sure. Honestly, the only thing I'm concerned about is the time travel aspect, because they don't really write time travel very well, but I'm not really qualified to tell you how exactly, because I don't understand it very well other than I know they can't do it. So here is Edward, the channel's resident time travel expert, explaining to you how they massively messed up in Cat Blanc.
So we're going to have a look at Cat Blanc specifically. So have a look at what happens to Adrian's timeline. This square represents Adrian being born, okay? Now this R is the point where the reveal happens, where he finds out who Marinette is. This A is the point where he is akumatized, and this D is the point where he is defeated as Cat Blanc in the future, okay? So Adrian just goes through time like this in a straight line, okay? Now Marinette also gets born at a certain point, that's that square, okay? She goes through time. The reveal happens when she puts her name on the thing, on the beret she gives to Adrian. And then she dies when Adrian gets akumatized, okay? Because of this whole, like, explosion thing and it kills her. Right? But then what happens is Bunnix appears sometime over here. And Bunnix says, hey, Ladybug, the future's kind of broken. We need to go and sort it out. So Bunnix travels to here after his akumatization, and she's going to take Marinette with her like this. And Marinette is now traveling along here, and she's going to defeat Cat Blanc like that, okay? And at this point, Marinette realizes that Adrian still knows who she is, so she's going to have to go back. So Bunnix was hiding in the burrow. She's going to kind of appear over here now. Bunnix goes back to the reveal, and of course Bunnix takes Marinette with her like this. And what Marinette does here is she's going to change the future. She creates a whole new timeline, alright? And what that does is it deletes this timeline. That's gone, that's dead, okay? So now Adrian actually lives his life along the new timeline where he never finds out who Marinette is because she erased her name from the beret. Marinette also then continues along that timeline. My question then is, Bunnix, over here, where she first went to get Marinette, where did she come from? Okay, she can't have come from this timeline, the one where Cat Blanc happens. The reason for why she can't do that is because she remembers winning the bet against Rose, okay? And if she won the bet against Rose, that didn't happen in this timeline. But she also can't come from this timeline, because I imagine this is Alex being born along this timeline of your stuff. But this timeline exists, right, after this one has been deleted. So there is no way for anyone in this timeline to ever travel back, because it's already gone by the time that anyone in this timeline even exists. So it can't happen. There's no way it can happen. Thomas f***s up. You are meant to see that.
As you can see, Edward really, really likes Luca and Adrian. Massive Luca Adrian shipper. Anyway, besties, I'd love to know what you think of this. Of course, these are just my theories based on the synopsis alone. I'm sure my ideas will change as we get images and other things. So I'd love to know what you all think, and I will see you in the next one.